Well, welcome back, Dr. Larry Carnes, and we're excited to have a very special guest with us. Richard, how are you today, sir?
It's Randy. Yeah, it's good to see you.
Randy Anderson. Randy, do this for me. Introduce yourself to our viewing audience and let them know a little bit about who Randy is.
Okay, it's easy. I kind of grew up in Beaver Cleaver's house. My mother and father were terrific. I had a brother. I have two foster brothers. I went to Oklahoma Baptist University and Southeastern Oklahoma State University. Went to the Marine Corps, got out of the Marine Corps, became a nurse for 33 years, just retired. Now I'm actually doing writing, which I find that I actually love. And it has really become a part of my life. I just relax in it and I love studying it, and it just creates an excitement on the inside of me.
That's amazing. Simplify to you. I'm a Marine myself. And so,
Simplify.
yes, yes. So you've written this fascinating book, Between Walls of Water. Acts, a young teenage boy, pledges his life to be the servant of Joshua, a warrior chosen by Moses to guide the Israelites out of Egyptian bondage. Under the mighty hand of God and faced with Pharaoh's vengeful pursuit, they embark on a treacherous journey with over 2 million people in tow. Speak to us about this fascinating book that you've read.
I was doing a study on the children of Israel. I got to a point where when Moses made camp, all of the tribes camped in a specific area around him.
Yes.
Well, I got to looking at the number of fighting men in each tribe. And then I started doing some study on other people that have done and found out how many people walked out of Egypt with Moses. I was completely blown away. I had no idea. I thought Charlton Heston led the 145 across in the movie. No, two plus million people. And so
Yes.
I came up. The way I remember stories is for it to be a story. So I just started writing the story so that I could keep everything in line. And that's just the way I think. Well, then it kind of snowballed. And I got caught up in the character. One of the main characters in the book, his name is Axe. He's a young boy, 13, 14, or 15, somewhere along in there. And he falls into the fellowship and the brotherhood of Joshua. Well, when Joshua was chosen by Moses to be his second man, Joshua chooses this character named Axe. And their friendship is formed, and it Axe is a young man who sees, he just has wonder in his eyes. He looks at all the wonderful miracles the Lord did in the plagues. He looks at what the Lord is doing now as they travel with the cloud that covers them by day, the pillar of fire by night. They haven't had to stop and eat because the Passover meal gave them all the energy that they needed. It's just miracles like this that Acts points out that I just want people to see how loving God is and how directing he is. Now I know that this is the children of Israel, and the children of Israel right now in our day are under fire. And I was looking back, we've only been a nation for 248 years. They were in bondage for 400. Now they're set free. They're walking with a new God that they don't know. They're being introduced to all these miracles. They don't know what's going to happen next.
Yes.
And that's the exciting part of it, because this book goes from just after they leave Egypt and they walk and they have to turn around and go to Pin-Herath at Migdol, between where they cross the Red Sea, where they get trapped. So all this book is moving everybody to this point where God shows the parting of the Red Sea. And then once they get to the other side of the Red Sea, that's where my second book picks up, and it's called Beyond the Banks. So
Okay.
the first book is just getting them across the sea, introduced. I mean, it's got some action in it. Out of 2 million people, not everybody's going to walk out of Egypt wanting to serve the Lord. There are people wanting to just get away from slavery. They were just wanting to get away from the grind of the Egyptians. So there are there's a lot of personalities in this. And there's some rubs. There's a couple of, we're going to get after a little bit here. And it was just a really, really fun book to write.
You know, it's interesting when you look at things like that. I see here you say Acts discovers his leadership potential, learning to inspire and guide others through his steadfast belief. As you mentioned, he sees things that's being done by, of course, the one who sat under Moses, Joshua. He connects to him. He actually becomes a student or an apprentice of him,
Exactly.
and he sees all these powerful things that God's doing.
Yes.
Uh, you talk about the climatic showdown with Pharaoh's forces threatens to extinguish their flickering hope. Will their faith in God's protection be enough to secure their freedom, or will they succumb to the shackles of bondage once more? Speak to us about that. That's a powerful, powerful statement.
When it gets to that part where the Egyptians are on one side of the pillar of cloud and fire, and the Hebrews are on the opposite side, and they're in total fear. They are freaking out. Moses is, I think even Moses turned around and said, Lord, what am I supposed to do? He says, why are you standing here? Start walking toward the water. Do what I told you to do. And so, as the Egyptians cannot see what's happening because they're blinded, and the sea parts out from an Egyptian point of view, if you rode over that edge and it was cleared where you could see, and there is a wall, there is a road with a wall of water on each side parting the Red Sea. And the soldiers even kind of question, holy smoke, their God is really fighting for them.
Yeah.
So as they start going across the sea, and the Egyptians are pursuing them, and they're getting close, so God has to help them out and knock the wheels off and kind of confuse them. But they get so close that they are face to face with those Egyptians, and the Lord tells them, the Egyptians you see today, you will not see anymore.
Isn't that a powerful God? How God just inspired in the midst of what we're going through, in the midst of what they were experiencing, God spoke to them. Now you said something that's powerful. You said this is a story of faith tested. I love it the way that is penned here. This is a story of faith tested, miracles witnessed, and a nation's spirit forged in the fires of Exodus.
They were the fires.
And you speak about this, Randy, that you must enjoy the journey and not be so fixated on the destination because there are lessons learned.
Yes.
Speak to our viewing audience about some lessons learned as they're navigating their journey, as our viewers are experiencing some exoduses in their lives. What can they glean from this book? And speak to our viewing audiences about that.
The one thing I would like for everybody to glean is the fact that the Lord is very attentive to everything that's happening with them. And he makes a distinction between them and the Egyptians. The promised land was given to Abraham many years before. These guys had been in Egypt, and they haven't had a formal form of worship except what the Egyptians allowed them.
Yeah.
So now Moses walks up and says, hey, I've got this guy. He's got 10 plagues. He gets them out of Egypt. They are walking in a brand new relationship with a God they don't know. And they don't trust because they think, well, if he did these plagues to Egypt, and if we make him mad, is he going to do that to us? They're questioning his personality. And that's the thing that I like in Acts and his best friend and Joshua, is how they look at the people, they look at what God is doing, and they see that he's always going to provide. They're learning as they walk each time, and just like when he parts this, he's going to provide. And just like he provided for them, I want people to understand he provides for us now. He is the same God that was then, now. He's still in control. He hasn't lost control, and he has a plan, just like he had a plan for the children of Israel. And even though they thought, hey, when we get to the other side, we're going to take the promised land, that wasn't that wasn't the lesson God had for them, was
Yeah.
it? They had a lot to learn. And just like us, as we study our Bibles each day, we've got a lot to learn.
You know, you speak in volumes. I tell people, and sometimes they don't understand. I say, you know, you said we have a better covenant built on better promises,
Oh,
but
super.
we're going to experience things in life. And
Yes.
you spoke volumes when it came to that. This is something that I see here. You talk about it being a story of faith being tested, miracles witnessed, a nation being forged. Now you say something here that speaks volumes. Through the eyes of Acts, we witness the transformative power of belief, the burdens of leadership, and the unwavering hand of God leading his people to freedom. Take a little while, take about 60 seconds to elaborate on that point right there, transformation.
Transformation. Well, Acts, you know, even as a young man, the transformation from 16 years old to 20 years old, all that happens. But inside of him, Acts bears the scars on his body of Egypt. And in his transformation, he turns those scars into ribbons of honor
Yeah.
to show that, hey, my God, we were here. He's got me through it, and this is where I am now. And I am serving Moses. I mean, a young kid, think out of 2 million people, I'm thinking, boy, I would really love to be able to serve Moses. And then bam, he's given the opportunity, but he's given the opportunity because God has a plan for him in working with Joshua and how to learn. And that's how I try to explain the Lord and his love and the history of the people, the history of Israel, where all the hatred began and is still today. The transformation of Acts through you have to go through all 6 books.
It speaks
It's
volumes.
because
We have a minute left, a minute 15 seconds left. I want you to do this for me. Disseminate any contact information that you might have, you know, email, website, anything like that. If you're available to speak for conferences, take 60 seconds and do that.
You can get this book. Between Walls of Water kind of looks like this right here. On Amazon, you can get it at Walmart, Barnes and Nobles. It is available that way. In fact, you can even order the prequel, the second book early on ecpublishings.com. I am available to speak and talk about my books anytime. I am now a retired nurse, so I am ready to get busy.
How do they contact you?
They can contact me through randallcanderson.com is it's all little letters. That's my email site for EC Publishings. My own email is rather funny. Don't laugh too hard. My stinking email is at yahoo.com.
Okay.
That's just so everybody can understand and remember it. And yes, they can contact me through that. And yes, that'd be great.
Well, we want to thank you so much, Randy, for this powerful book that you've written. Thank you for being our guest. I'm
Thank you,
Dr.
Doc.
Larry Carnes. Oh, thank you so much, sir.
I
I'm Dr.
appreciate
Larry Carnes. This has been Books of the Month. Make sure you go out and purchase this powerful book, Between Walls of Water. Make sure you join us again right here next month for Books of the Month. And remember to always out love, out serve, out forgive each other. Optimum blessings.